Welcome everybody to VVR. I'm not sure if you guys were having this issue using Clip Studio Paint, but when I was trying to, export my image to the Instagram format, it kept getting shrunk in my phone view, because on your phone, as you try to upload the image onto Instagram, it keeps getting cut. It was getting cut, about right here, like pretty much the borders up and down of my character's legs here and her head. So I only saw this. But when I pinched it, it can go up, but it just keeps getting compressed down, which is like kind of annoying because I want the whole image to show on Instagram. So these are just the steps that I took to get there. If you guys have a better way of doing this, by all means, let me know. It's been driving me crazy, but I found out a way to convert a vertical format image from Clip Studio Paint to the image resolution of Instagram. So let's move over to this. My original image, I called it Luna 22. I did a save as, and I renamed it as Luna Insta. The reason I did this was that I wanted to keep this image intact, and just use my Luna 22 Insta as the prototype, just like a test for whatever I wanted to do with it. So I'm going to walk you through the steps of how I went from taking this image, which I'll show you the resolution for it real quick. If I go to change image resolutions under edit, that's the height and the width for my image resolution. As you can see, it's like double the size of what Instagram allows, which is a 1080 by 1350, height or width, depending if you want to do this on landscape mode. It doesn't really have that much of an issue. When you do it horizontally, I'm only encountering this issue because I am trying to upload this image vertically. So first, what I did here was that obviously if I try to downscale this image, and I know that you can get issues with downscaling and upscaling an image. If you upscale an image, you're blowing up the pixels. If you're downscaling, you could get a blurrier image. And like I said, I'm still new at this. I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it. If you guys have a better way, by all means, let me know. If I try to type in the width here of 1080, so that the height is 1350, it automatically gets set to 1540. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if that's already preset to the canvas that I selected when I first started my project. It's probably that, but like I said, I don't know. So the only way that I know to do this is to change it here and then go to the change canvas, like to crop it, and then you go from there. So for now, the height maximum has to be 1350. So when I type in 1350 here, the width turns into 947 automatically. And even if I try to change this number, it's going to keep making this number bigger as you've seen. So what I do here is I first do this and I hit OK. So now my image resolution shrunk. If I hit the back button here, so like I didn't change the resolution. Here's kind of like what it was before, and here's what it is after. It's a little pixely, but that's the only way I was able to make it work. So like I said, if there's another way, by all means, please let me know. From here, I go to change canvas size, and from here, now I can freely type in 1080. When I do this, what it does is that it only expands the background, the canvas pretty much. My character does not move from this, so anything I have set with my character will not move. It's only stretching the canvas. And that worried me for a while because I thought I was going to screw it up, but it didn't. So I click OK. And then from here, my background is, like I said, my character stayed intact, but my background was the only thing that changed. Like even if I zoom into my character, it's still, a little pixely there, but that's kind of what it is. There's no way that I know how to change that without like keeping the sharpness of the picture without compromising the resolution. This is just the only way I know how you can actually upload this image to its full, format on Instagram. So anyway, as we can see here, my background was the only thing that changed, since if I take off the airbrush that I did for the background, this is the current background. It just grew bigger with the size. But you can still clearly see that from here, from these two edges, the edges of this changed. So what I did to compensate for that was that I just color picked what I airbrushed already before, and then I just, airbrushed the rest of it out there. Obviously, this is not going to work for every piece because say you have a background on there, it could stretch the background that you have before. Like if you had a forest background or a sky background or whatever, it could possibly stretch out that, that background or your character. So I'm pretty sure this is a destructive way of doing it to your work. But like I said, if there's any other way, by all means, let me know. For now, what I do here is now I go to File and Export, single layer, JPEG. JPEG being the smallest size file that it can do. And then I just select, I can rename it, but the most important thing is here is that you have it as JPEG. And I'm just going to do it as this Luna Instagram 1350 since I know that 1350 is the maximum output or, height or whatever. So that's just a shortcut for me. You guys rename it whatever you want. From here, I go to, from here, the export settings come up. I don't really change anything from here. Expression color, I think was an auto detect, and now I have it to RGB color. I don't really touch anything else from here. And I go to specify output and then just make sure that, I didn't touch anything. This is already what it is. So it's gonna take for my image what it was and then export it to there. I don't have to specify output resolution. If I do this to change it to 73, I think someone said, there was a video that said that if I did this, then what it does, I believe someone, I don't know whose video I was watching that told me that 73 is the resolution for Instagram. Like I said, I was searching for a while and there's no one that I know that has done this for Clip Studio specifically. But, even if I change it to 600 or whatever, it's just the resolution and the height and the width changes. So I just, if I click here, specify output resolution, it changes back to 72. So I just type in 1350 to the original height and width, and it goes back to that. From there, I just make sure you can choose either one of these two. For here, I chose for comic because it says scale up and down whole layer. The only reason I chose is because I'm using vector lines, and I read that it says, it'll scale up to vector lines. So, and then from here, I rasterize to prefer quality, and then I just hit OK. So here's a preview of the image. If we can see here, I can pinch and zoom, it's still sharp. If I pinch in all the way, it's a little blurry, but at a glance from this, it still retained the sharpness of the image when I did all of that resizing. If there is a way for me not to do all this crap and just to, export it as a 1080 by 1350, by all means. When I try to do it that way, here, I'll hit OK here. And you'll see the difference as for when I was doing it without. So here is my original image. If I try to do this from here, edit, and I'll just show you, it's still the same. Yep, this is my original, I think that's a 4K canvas resolution. I'm not too sure, but in any case, if I go to File, and if I try to just export it as it was before, and if I try to make it the 1080 by 1350, you can see that it changes the width to 947, which is not the 1080 format. And if I try to do it this way, I hit OK. Those are the only settings I changed, by the way. I only made it so that the output, I only changed the output under the export settings. Here's a preview of my image, and it's sharp. It's super sharp. There is that. So this way, if I try to do it this way, it retains its sharpness. However, the problem that I'm having, like I said, is when I send these over to my Instagram, they keep getting compressed. So this format, my original canvas format, keeps getting compressed down, and I only get to see, let's pretend that this is how Instagram sees it, right? Instagram is going to see it like this. It's cut off. But, on Instagram, I can pinch and zoom it, but it keeps getting reverted back to this compressed state. And I'm like, that's not what I want. I want the whole image to show like how it's supposed to. But the only way that works is if, like I showed you guys before, is if I change the image resolution to 1350 and then I change the canvas size to 1080. When I upload the 1080 by 1350, that one doesn't get compressed at all. It just takes it as it is, and I can upload the entire image on there. I know in Photoshop that there's a way that you can export your image into a web format so that it's just easier for you to convert images. However, I'm using Clip Studio Paint, and this is just the process I went through to converting a vertical image resolution to the maximum output of Instagram without it being compressed. Anyway, like I said, I'm still a beginner at this. If you guys have any other way to do this on Clip Studio Paint specifically, by all means let me know. If I were to do this all over again, right from the start, I would just make the canvas 1080 by 1350 if I'm going to specifically only make it for Instagram. But as digital media, I want to be as flexible as possible, because when I export this, I want to put this everywhere. This is something I'm proud of, you know what I mean? So regardless of where I want to put this, I want to find a canvas resolution and canvas size to start off with so that I can export that to whatever format I want, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. It's all consistent, if that makes sense. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions of how I got to this, by all means let me know. Let me know if it worked out for you. Try not to do it as a destructive method like I did. If there's a better way, by all means let me know. Thank you for watching.